Bienvenidos to Cafecito with HPPR, where we sip coffee, share stories, and celebrate the impact of parks and recreation in our communities. Grab your cafecito and join us for inspiring conversations on leadership, culture, and career growth. Let's build connections one sip at a time.
Hello, welcome to Cafecito with HPPR, and another episode. Thank you for being here with us. Today we will talk about careers in park or recreation, work, play, and inspire. So we're gonna diving into that topic. Our guest today is none other than our fellow HPPR board member Matt Martinez. Welcome, Matt, to Cafecito with HPPR. How are you doing?
I'm good, Eric. How are you doing? I'm glad to be
I'm
here.
doing, I'm doing fantastic, fantastic. Looking forward to have a good cafecito chat about careers in park or recreation. So, what do you do? Let's start by knowing you a little bit better. Tell us, our audience, what do you do? What little bit about yourself, and how are you engaged in park or recreation profession?
Yes, so I'm a recreation supervisor for the city of Wichita Parks and Recreation. I've been here for almost 20 years. Um, I just enjoy recreation, enjoy everything about it. Working for the city of Wichita has been fantastic and be able to engage with the community. And I work in the north end at Evergreen Recreation Center, with which is the population is mainly Hispanic. So it's great to be able to do some activities and programs for that needs for that community for sure. So it's great, Eric. It's really great.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I heard that Wichita is a very beautiful city, nice place to live, good sports town, all of that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. We got plenty of sports here in Wichita. We got our AAA team, the Wichita Wind Surge. So it's a new team that's here in Wichita, but it's a great community to be in, and it's fantastic, Eric. It's really great.
Had the pleasure to experience Wichita myself last year with my family. So very, very impressive. So as you know, Matt, this is a cafecito. So I have heard that you have your little mug
I got it
cafecito
too.
HPPR, courtesy
Yes,
of our great marketing department, Angie and Serrano, wherever you are. Thank you for these.
yes.
So before we get into the question today, tell us about your cafecito. What is your go-to move? What is your cafecito go-to move when you're talking about coffee? Are you a coffee drinker at all, or what do you do?
Eric, I have to be honest, I'm really not a coffee drinker, but
Are you not?
when, as you know, when you're in those long training sessions or those long meetings and stuff, you're gonna need a cafecito. You're gonna need some kind of coffee. So I'm the type of guy that my coffee's almost gotta taste like cocoa. It's gotta have enough milk, enough sugar in there that tastes just like cocoa. I don't drink a whole lot of coffee, but I know when I'm in those long meetings or trainings, I gotta at least have a couple cups. So as long as it
Something.
tastes like cocoa, it's good.
So what do you pour in that mug when you if it's not coffee? Uh, yeah, you can
Just
plead the fifth. Don't worry, you can plead the fifth.
yes, I plead the fifth for sure.
All right, all right, okay. Let's go into that, Matt. Let's start with some basic stuff. I mean, why do you choose why park and recreation? Why do you choose this career? What led you? Do you have any experience as a young professional coming up, or what exactly drove you into this career?
So when I was a kid, I mean, I'm from Hutchinson, Kansas, which was about 30 minutes of west of here, Wichita, and I grew up in recreation. I played baseball, sports, basketball in programs with the Recreation Commission there in Hutchinson. So I really enjoyed it growing up as a kid. And I knew going into college, I knew say, hey, I need to, I get into recreation so I can be there to help and provide programs and activities for the citizens. So it's really growing up from when I was younger, getting involved in those sports and that kind of stuff really helped me really be engaged and want to be be in recreation for sure. So it was starting at a young age, and I knew this is what I wanted to be.
So, do you consider yourself what people? You heard the concept a park rec kid. You know, do you consider yourself a park rec kid that grew into that in the fields or in the rec center or in those areas as a younger person?
Yes, definitely. I mean, definitely, like I'd mentioned, playing for the rec commission for with baseball and doing the programs, activities at the rec center there and that kind of stuff. I mean, going swimming at the pools, ran by the rec commission. So I definitely was raised in that rec environment. So it was good. It was great.
So you mentioned you work on you oversee a rec center right now. For how long have you been overseeing that facility?
So I was the assistant director there at Evergreen Rec Center from 05 to 10, and then I came the director, the supervisor there from 2010 to 15. I oversee. Then I went to Oklahoma City for about 6 months and moved back to Wichita, and then I was down at City Hall for 5 years doing programs, events, and other special activities and stuff. Then I went back to Evergreen Rec Center right at 2020 during COVID, and running now I've been running that since, just running programs, activities, events. We run activities from tots all the way to senior citizens. So we do a vast variety of different programs and stuff for the community. So yeah, it's good.
So you came back to the same facility that you left in 2015?
I did. I was down at City Hall for 5 years, and they're like, "Hey, Matt, we need to move you back to the Evergreen because I need to bring it back up. I need to bring people back into the center. The program needs to be brought back up." So I was able to come back and build that rec center back up and bring more people into the facility. So it's been great, man.
Cool story. I know that I feel like you're like a celebrity on that community right now. So, all those years.
I do my best, Eric. I do my best.
People build connections with communities. This is one of the most rewarding things about Parkgate, the connection that you build with the community when you're serving, especially for such a long time on a particular community. So I would like to dive into a little bit about what is the most rewarding and what is the most challenging moment or the toughest part on your career. So can you start by telling us what do you consider is one of those things that are the most rewarding part on your career, the most fulfilling, perhaps, during that journey?
During that, yeah. So one of the rewarding things is obviously getting CPRP certified. That was a big thing too, as well. Another big thing was in 2023, I got awarded the Kansas Recreation Park Association Recreation Professional of the Year. So I was nominated from all the agencies within the state of Kansas to be the Recreation Professional of the Year in 2023. So that was a big excitement time for me. I was excited to be able to be awarded that. So, but just the little things, just smaller things than that is just seeing smiles and seeing people that enjoy being at the center, doing the programs, doing the activities, seeing the participants enjoy the programs that you offer, not just the fitness classes, but the talk class, but just everything's rewarding. I mean, being in Parks and Recreation is awesome. And my kids grow up in it. They're in recreation programs. So hopefully down the road, maybe they'll decide to get in recreation too as well.
Hey, great. Can you talk a little bit about perhaps the makeup of your community? What are the demographics look like? How large of the town it is, or the people that you serve?
Yeah, so the city of Wichita is almost 400,000 people. Mm-hmm. And we got some suburbs outside of Wichita too that do our program, but mainly where I'm at is in the area where I serve is the Hispanic community.
Is it good?
A very, very, very Hispanic community. So I enjoy serving our people and that kind of stuff and doing the programs and activities that they want. It's just so great to be able to get these kids to try. A lot of the kids like to play soccer and stuff there in the community. Well, now I'm getting them engaged in basketball and other activities so they can try it and that stuff as well. We offer summer camps at a reduced price for kids because in the area we're at, it's poverty level. I mean, it's pretty low, and we try to do what we can to kind of help them out and try to bring them and enjoy the programs and activities that we have there at the center.
How many other rec centers are in the city of Wichita?
So we have six other rec centers spread out throughout the city of Wichita.
Do you interact with other facilities or with other people in the other city, or kind of everyone stay like in their own area?
We do collaborate with the other centers. We do joint programming with them. We used to do a junior basketball league where we would have our own league at our centers, and then at the end of the year we would have an all-star team, and we would take them and travel to a rec center to play their team and that kind of stuff. So as get the kids in that, a little bit of the competitive part of being in recreation, but we do some collaboration with other centers with classes and programs. And, we share instructors, we share different ideas or that kind of stuff. But Mainly we run our facility and run the programs and stuff that we want to do. And, I might have more top program than Orchard Rec Center was more on the west side. Maybe they're more focused on the senior aspect of it, but we have kind of I would say our own niche on what we do at each facility, kind of serve that community too as well.
So we being predominantly Hispanic, is that your area that is predominantly Hispanic, or
Yes.
or not necessarily the other facilities around?
My center is mostly Hispanic. But there's still some over, south side of Wichita, over by Linwood. I mean, even Orchard has some, but mainly my community is mainly Hispanics. That's in that area.
So do you cater your programming, or do you cater the services offered to that community to the interests of that community? Do you survey that, or how do you see that difference between perhaps the interest and how do you tailor your services toward that community with that makeup or that demographic versus perhaps other areas of the city of Wichita?
We do. So I do, like you mentioned, Eric, I do a lot of surveys. I survey the community. I go out to the schools. I go out to the churches there in the community to see what kind of programs or activities they want. We go out and we used to do just the paper surveys and that kind of stuff. Now we're more getting out and emailing the people in that area and hitting the certain areas where we're at to kind of say, hey, what kind of programs and activities would you like, Evergreen to provide for this community and that kind of stuff. So we've gathered a lot of information on what they would like to see. They want more yoga, they want more, dance classes, they want more kids classes, talk classes and stuff. And I do whatever I can to find those good instructors to teach those classes to help serve that community. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great to hear. I have a similar experience. I used to oversee a rec center in a most predominantly Hispanic area in the city of Fort Worth. And one of the things that I learned, I used to love from the community is how grateful Hispanic individuals are. How can you attention to detail you provide to them, and they're happy. We just feel that they are being served and taken care of. Particularly, I had some good experience with senior citizens, and we a little bit that we provide for them, and they were the most grateful individuals in town. So it is good to see that is that we're addressing the interest of that community in the different states and cities. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Now flipping to the other side, it's not always good and nice and dandy, right? There's also tough moments like any other career. What do you think are those the toughest moment of your career?
I think the toughest moment, Eric, is probably like I'd mentioned back in 2015. I had gotten a recreation supervisor job at Oklahoma City, running a facility. In a year or two, I was going to move up to superintendent there in Oklahoma City. So I was there for 6 months, staying in a studio apartment. My family was still here in Wichita and that kind of stuff too as well. So that was probably the toughest time is being away from my family and being away and not being able to spend that time with my kids. And I made the decision to say, hey, this is not the right time, and I went back to Wichita. But that was probably the toughest moment is being away from my family for that 6 months and trying something different. But, it didn't work out. I still got a lot of connections there in Oklahoma City, but that's probably one of the big struggles I had in my profession. Some other small ones might be, as and a lot of people know, is retaining staff. I mean, just going on a side thing, retaining staff and finding those instructors, finding those summer camp counselors, because the pay is we can only pay a certain amount for staff and that kind of stuff. And a lot of times they can go to other jobs and that kind of stuff to find and get better wages. So I think the smallest struggle for me right now, outside of that 2015 range, is retaining staff and make sure that we can keep and instructors and find staff for counselors. But I mean, other than that, I think, my career in Parks and Recreation has been fabulous. Working for the city of Wichita, it's been great. And I just really enjoy my job, Eric. It's great.
That's great. That's great to hear. I mean, those Saturday, that Saturday work, those night shifts.
Sunday events that I worked last night, and I got 2 sunburn. I mean, it's working those 9-hour days on a Sunday for an event and stuff like that. But and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But it's just, working that event, puts a smile on your face because everybody's enjoying the event and love being out there, and it's bringing the community together. So it's
Yep.
all good.
We work where they play. That's to say that it's
That's right.
very common in soccer, right? So we
Yep.
work when people are off, they are playing. So tell us about those great programs. What are some of those great programs or those great events that the city of Wichita have entrusted you with leading and you're putting them together for the community?
Yeah, so the big one that I'm in charge of is Open Streets ICT. So it's a large community event that we do in downtown Wichita. We closed down 4 miles of Douglas, which is the heart of Wichita, Kansas. We closed that down on a Sunday in September. We have 250 vendors along the route. We have entertainment stages. We have food trucks. We have all that stuff closed for 4 hours for people to enjoy the day, to ride, bike, walk, to do whatever they want on the streets without any motorized vehicles and that kind of stuff. So that's one of the biggest ones. So the event that we had yesterday was it was an Open Streets ICT at WSU. So we're right outside Wichita State University on 17th Street there. And we closed down about 2 miles of streets and had it closed for 100 vendors. We had I think they counted anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 people that came out yesterday to enjoy the day with food trucks and vendors and entertainment. And it was just amazing. This was our 3rd year doing that one. And this is the biggest crowd we have had since. And then I got another one coming up here in about 3 weeks. It's our Open Streets ICT at Nomar on the north end of Wichita, our Hispanic community. We're doing another event. This will be the 5th year, and we'll close down 2 miles and have entertainment. We'll have food trucks, great Mexican, Hispanic food. It's one of our favorite events that we do. So I've been in charge of those events, and the first one we had was in 2017. It took me about a year and a half or so to plan it, to get everybody to get it straight, get it like all locked down. And now it's kind of just like clockwork. We kind of put it together and everything falls into place and stuff. And that's one of the biggest community events that the City of Wichita Parks and Recreation puts on, and I get to be a lead of that, which is amazing. And I have great staff and volunteers that help me with it. So that's just some great events that I get to do with the city outside of my regular duties of programming and running the facility as well. So it's great.
Absolutely. I'm sure that you're very proud of that.
Yes.
It sounds I'm hearing to you and I'm smiling a little bit because that sounds very fun, but on my end, trying to put myself in your place to that, it sounds like a lot of crowd management, security plans, logistics. That's what I'm hearing in my brain.
Yeah, logistics and barricades, and now with everything going on, we have to have hard barricades. So we're having vehicles, food trucks in those intersections and stuff like that. So it's a lot of logistics and a lot of working with the local police department to make sure that safety is a top priority. So, but it turned out great, and we were very excited, and everybody was just gave tons of kudos to the Parks and Recreation Department for putting that on. So it was great.
Well, congratulations. I know that's a huge task that is super important in the community. So what's next? I guess where does Matt Martinez see himself? It's been a big journey. You mentioned at the beginning of this interview or this podcast, this conversation, how you have been a staple in that community and that rec center, and except for the time they went to City Hall, etc. Mm-hmm. Is that where you plan to finish? What are the next steps on your career?
Eric, my next step is my future is what I want to be is a superintendent of recreation. I would love to be able to run the department, be a lead, be a liaison for my staff, be able to help them succeed, So that is my next step. Is I would love to be the superintendent of Wichita Parks and Recreation, or if that doesn't work down the road, finding a superintendent job somewhere and that kind of stuff. But I love my job. I love working for the people. But my next step is want to be a superintendent in recreation.
That is fantastic. I'm sure that you will accomplish that goal. How does that structure in Wichita looks like? So superintendent is next level, and then director. What is the?
So you have your director. You got your park and recreation director, and then underneath that you have the recreation superintendent, and then you have the recreation parks superintendent, and then you do have the golf superintendent. So recreation superintendent, then you have, you got all the recreation centers and all the directors underneath you, and the aquatics director. We have a destination park here in Wichita, Watson Park. You'll be in charge of that. The tennis center as well. We have a tennis center, pickleball facility that I'd be supervising over. So it'd be kind of those little Ruby right under the director of Parks and Recreation.
Awesome. Let's talk. I'm a superintendent myself. I'm sure that I can give you some nuggets of wisdom about that offline. Definitely, I know that you will accomplish that, and you know what? We will celebrate with you when you do it.
Yes, for sure.
So, kind of going with that, tell me about. I mean, you're a seasoned veteran. You have accomplished so much in your career so far. Definitely, you're looking up to take your career to the next step. But what would you tell to the younger folks that are coming into our career? What are some important pieces of advice that you can provide to professionals that are just getting here, that perhaps just have the entry level position, or maybe some of your staff, you're already practicing this, or somebody who is even in college trying to think about how to insert themselves in this world? What are some important advice that you can share with individuals?
I think Eric, the most important thing is to network. I think, my thing when I first got into recreation was I wanted to be involved with the local or the state Kansas Association of Parks and Recreation. I want to be involved with that. I wanted to be, go out and reach out to network and meet people and talk to people. But I think just, when you're coming out of college, I think what I did was important too. I did my internship, right? I did my internship there in Hutch at the Recreation Commission. So I went there and worked, did field supervisor, gym supervisor, doing all those kind of different areas that helped me prepare for my next step in my job. So I think just doing that internship, going through that, then I got, after that I got hired on to work at the Rec Commission, and then I took the interview thing with Wichita, Parks and Recreation. So I think just getting involved, and networking and asking questions. I mean, I always ask my staff there that are working for me, I'm like, if you have any questions, or because you guys, my staff is just as involved in my center as I am. I always look at it that they're the face of the center because they're there when I'm not there. They're covering the facility. So ask me questions. Let me know what you need. What kind of, programs or ideas, that they might want to do. So I think as a young professional coming in, ask questions, be involved, be involved in NRPA. I mean, be involved with these different agencies and stuff, and just kind of network and get your name out there and ask questions. So everybody's willing to help. Everybody wants to help these young professionals succeed, and I'm always encouraging my staff to get involved and help, and also help them get the training that they need to as well, so they can help, with their professional careers. So, I mean, I think networking is huge. That was big for me, and getting involved with your state conference and that kind of stuff, being involved and NRPA as well. I mean, just be involved and just ask questions, and because recreation is fun. It's fun, Eric. It's really fun.
That's great piece of advice, Matt. And it's not, sometimes it's not how much you know, but who you know, right? How do you get the contact information of the person that you have the information is as important sometimes as knowing the information yourself, right?
Yep, so, that's exactly right, Eric. That's right.
It is great how the power of networking and relationships. I agree with that 100%. Speaking of, will we see you at NRPA this year in Orlando?
Yes, I'm going to be there. I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited to be back with you guys at NRPA. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be able to see you guys and continue to network with people and enjoy the conference and the sessions and hang out with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Well, Matt, as we close out, just work. If somebody would like to connect with you here in a little bit, speaking about networking, where can people find you? How can get connected with you?
Yeah, so they can reach out on my email at mamartinez@wichita.gov. They can reach out to me there. I'm on LinkedIn. It's Matt Martinez 2 there on LinkedIn as well. I mean, so easy way to connect with me is just send me an email and stuff and connect and that kind of stuff. And we can, I can answer any questions you might have with any, maybe open streets questions or any program ideas that I have or stuff like that, because I'm always willing to help people that want to get in the profession. So yeah, just reach out and we can talk and chat.
Absolutely, I agree. So, and as we mentioned, Matt is also one of our board members. So, we definitely are so blessed to have his leadership on our group as well. So, Matt, it has been so great. Thank you for taking your time to speak with us tonight and having a
Yes.
conversation. If you would like to hear more about the job that Max does in the great city of Wichita, Kansas, his email was there. Reach out to them, and it will be until the next time, Matt. I will see you around.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this cafecito. We hope today's conversation gave you a little inspiration, connection, and community. If you want to learn more about how Hispanic professionals in park and recreation are making a difference and how you can get involved, visit us at hppr.online. Until next time, keep showing up, stay inspired, and don't forget to bring your whole self to the table. Nos vemos!